Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Veterans Day. You know, this is a beautiful, beautiful occasion when we get a chance to come together and celebrate all the individuals that put and sacrifice and put everything on the line for us to have the liberties that we have today. So on behalf of Bill Maxey, the Director of Veteran Affairs for State Representative Brenda Carter and the Clarence Phillips Ascend Foundation, we would like to go ahead and welcome you to our Heroes and Heroines Veterans Day celebration to honor our heroes and fallen heroes and also their families. Veterans Day is one of the most significant missions in the American pages of history and beneficial to our generations as a whole. Nationally and locally, it is heartfelt remembrance that we must always remember. Every day, we should be joining a team of families and appreciate the most significant individuals in our lives and of our generation. Those would be our veterans. Visibly, we are the recipients of the most gallant, brave, physically fighting men and women who kept the enemy with their physical attacks on foreign soils. We must soundly recognize every statement and action and message of appreciation for those, our fallen heroes, and also their families as well. We must acknowledge these trailblazers, must educate the public, as well as the importance of our fallen heroes and their existence. We cherish all moments and purpose each veteran for their everlasting sacrifice. We must ensure that every ounce of their life is and will always be heartfelt and never be forgotten. To that point, I want to say once again, Happy Veterans Day and amen and God bless. With all that being said, it's with the greatest of honor that I bring to you our first presenter for this evening, or for this afternoon, somebody who's been a warrior for the community of Pontiac for a multitude of years, and she's bringing a greeting from the county of Oakland. That being said, I'd like to welcome Oakland County Commissioner Angela Powell.
Thank you, Kano. I'm so happy and delighted to be a part of such a wonderful event. I would like to also thank Bill Maxey, our State Rep Brenda Carter, yourself, Kano Phillips, and everybody else who joined the efforts to put on this program today. I also want to honor our veterans and our honor our heroes and our fallen heroes, our veterans, just for everything that you've done for our country, for our world. And we truly, truly appreciate everything you're doing. And again, let me back up a little bit. I am bringing greetings on behalf of all 21 Oakland County Commissioners from Oakland County, Michigan. And I just want to say thank you for having me on. And I'm looking forward to this wonderful event and seeing how things turn out today. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Powell, for those riveting words. Next, we would like to go ahead and bring from the state levels, coming straight from Lansing, our very own Michigan State House of Representatives, representative for the city of Pontiac, Auburn Hills, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and I think I'm missing somebody, Lake Orion, and also I believe it's Lake Angeles too, if I'm correct. Without further ado, please let me go ahead and pass the screen over to State Representative Brenda Carter.
Thank you, Kano, and a big thanks to Bill Maxey, the Director of Veterans Affairs for the 29th District, which represents the communities of Auburn Hills, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, and of course, Pontiac. I want to give a great shout out to veterans everywhere because I am the mother of a veteran. But I want to say a special thanks to all our veterans right here in District 29. So on behalf of the 100th Legislature, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, we say Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans and their families everywhere. Thank you, Kano.
Thank you so much for those words. The thing about it, Representative Carter, you're always going to bring that energy to any particular cause, and I appreciate you. And I know how much this day means to you as well, so thank you for that. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring to you the reason why we're all here this evening, or excuse me, this afternoon. And that is a gentleman who's put his heart, body, and soul into veteran affairs and the lives and well-being of veterans here, and not only from the city standpoint, but also on the state level, beating up and down that highway on a regular basis, going to Lansing to go ahead and fight for legislature. also making it, he's a mainstay over in Washington, D.C. on the federal level, going out there to go ahead and make sure that our veterans are going to be taken care of on a day-to-day basis and fighting to make sure legislators are going to go ahead and reflect that. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring to you the man, the actual founder of this particular program today that you're all participating in is none other than the man himself, Mr. H. Bill Maxey.
We, the veterans all over the world, and I can begin by saying the first 350 slaves that fought in the Civil War, transferred to Philadelphia when we had 130,000. Rich history all over the United States of America. We stand tall. My emphasis is on Oakland County because I live here. But my heart is for the world of veterans all over the states of the United States of America. We are the people. And posthumously to those who made the ultimate sacrifice, gave their life and their lives so that you here today would not have history of fighting on America's soil. We veterans of the world have made sure that you don't wake up under tanks, armored weapons. This is why I said to all of you, we love our veterans and we must always put veterans, because of the grace of God we're here, but from the flesh on this earth, we must always recognize and in memory the dedication, the commitment. Do you know how difficult it is to serve in the United States Army of America? And not all of us have had a clear path. We haven't had a clear road to victory. There were obstacles and we overcome. And again, you hear me say several times, under the umbrella and the grace of God, we have come a mighty long ways. We veterans are not like where we used to be, and we're not where we should not, ought to have can be, and will not ever be again in a position we were before, because we look forward, we move forward to the medical and clinical care of those who are trained to take care of us. It sad my heart very much when I find out. And I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to point to the negative. I'll speak how I feel and what I know. When you have 75% of veterans today under the auspices of the VA, 75%, including the burnt unit. Hey, and when the Department of Veteran Affairs come out with an article saying that the United States Attorney Inspector General says that you have systemic racism, we're not back in 18s. We're fast forward in 2020. But besides all of that, I just want Mr. and Mrs. Veteran to know that we have come a long ways. But I had to share that history with you. Hopefully fast forward with this president, as we have the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Labor, and all of those who help make decisions that a veteran life could be better. I am looking forward to it. Not waiting until it gets here. Relationship with Oakland County is great. It's great. We have a new CEO. I have talked with him at long length about the upgrade and the incoming care of our veterans to reduce all of the two negative things that I just talked about. In fact, we have in place one of our veterans today. Understand he was in the military for 20 years and turned out being a command officer, such as myself. We are looking forward. Pontiac, Lake Angeles, wherever you are, when you see that veteran, and I've seen this with my eyes, and somebody told me, don't walk over him, open the door. If he has a cap on, said, thank you. Don't continue to repeating that you move out the way I'm here first. In Oakland County, yes, we've got a job to do. As I said, I live here. I've been here for about 50 years. Think about serving us better. It breaks my heart when I hear in the streets of Pontiac, I don't do 24/7 anymore, but I do 14 and 13. When veterans don't have shoes, they have a family and they move from place to place, a wife or three or four kids, they're still homeless on the roof because it doesn't belong to them. The property doesn't belong. When they don't have anything to eat, and to the businessmen in the city, the next time I see you push a veteran out the door, you're gonna have a problem with me. If the shoe fits, you wear it, because I've seen it. I walked up on it. It could, the man homeless is a veteran, and how nasty you were to him. Downtown Pontiac do not belong to the business. It belongs to the citizens of this great community. And I'm telling you, with the help of innocent community people, do you realize, Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac, that over 1/3 of you responded? And the political people, not politicians, politicians are crooked. Don't want to deal with them. Don't want to undermine them. Political bring resources. Do you realize how many Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac picked up the telephone and called me, talked with Kano Phillips, who's one of the brightest spots. I'm not even going to, with our young men in here as far as leadership. But let me tell you something. When you come together for love, when you come together for humility, when you come together with heartfelt endeavors, each one reach one to reach out and make sure that person has the help they need. Yes, we're veterans and we're going to live here and be here, and we will not be dictated to. You will include us in your decision making. As I said, as our present administration, you have to answer to us. This is our city, our Oakland County, and I could extend that if the shoe fit to Oakland County. But I live here. I want to see an increase in service to our veterans. As have it, by the grace of God, I have to say this again, Kano Phillips put together a tremendous program. We have shoes, we have food, we have masks, and above all, Dave Patterson got with the resources. Reach out and touch. You call me, we got an answer. I'll pay your gas. I'll pay your rent. When I say the team of us, we'll drive you out of Crooks Road. You don't have to suffer, even though a lot of time in this city, you are neglected. But veterans, we go beyond, and then you, after we extend that to you, then you extend it to the community people. I love the city of Pontiac. And I love the way the 1/3 of you treat me and others. But I don't appreciate the 2/3 laying down, sitting back, doing whatever and think you deserve. But those that can't help themselves is fine. But I'm letting you know, 2/3 get back, step back, boom, you're gone. The third of us in this city, including veterans, will not tolerate any attitude towards our veteran population via their wives and family as they are homeless. I have so much to be thankful for.
Yes, sir.
I told Bill Maxey wakes up to serve. Do you hear me? I wake up to serve, so don't come to me.
Yes, sir.
In an election, I don't see you all year. I see you nowhere. Then you come. No, veteran says no. In the name of the Son.
Yes, sir.
Heavenly Father. Amen. Goodness to the gracious of God who we serve. Amen.
That being said, we come here today to go ahead and celebrate some of these beautiful men and women that have put these sacrifices out there on the forefront for a multitude of years, serving in the armed forces. With that being said, this is one of my favorite parts of events like this, when we get a chance to go ahead and shine a spotlight on all of the greatness that these people have given you on a consistent basis over the year. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get to our living recipients. These are all members that actually were part of different various war eras, everything from the Korean War all the way up to Afghanistan and Iraq. So please, I want you as soon as we announce these people out, wherever you are, I don't care if it's just you by yourself. I need you to make all the noise humanly possible so that the God can go ahead and go hear you making this noise on behalf of these great people. That being said, I want to go ahead and present to you the first award recipient is a man by the name of Corporal Roy Gilbert.
Yeah.
Mr. Roy, look, Corporal Roy Gilbert, he served in the United States Marines in the Korean War from 1951 to 1954. Corporal Gilbert was assigned to the 1st Division Fleet Marines, a combat group, where he distinguished himself as having fought in 4 major battles. For his gallantry and heroism, he received medals of valor, Distinguished Bronze Star, and Combat Battle Star, Good Conduct Medal, among other medals for gallantry and heroism. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is what you call a true brave Marine, a true brave fighting Marine. I need you to please put your hands together for the man himself, Corporal Roy Gilbert. On behalf of Corporal Roy Gilbert, we're going to go ahead and have, Mr. Ross is going to go ahead and stand in on his behalf. They had a family emergency, and so because of that, but he wanted to go ahead and make sure that he gave his love to all his fellow brothers and sisters in the veteran ranks. But I want to go ahead and thank you too, sir, for stepping up, Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Kano. As a Pontiac native son and as well an Air Force, U.S. Air Force veteran, on behalf of Mr. Roy Gilbert, I'd like to accept this on behalf of his surviving family, the U.S. Marines, the other individuals who were his serving brothers, as well as our own city and country saluting this day. Semper Fi.
And so that you all know exactly what this award says, it says this: Award of Honor to our United States veteran, presented to Roy Gilbert, in appreciation of your tireless efforts in support of our United States Armed Forces. Your dedication to our country and its military is commendable and an honorable addition to the fight for freedom throughout the world. We thank you. From H. Bill Maxey, Director of Veteran Affairs for Michigan State Representative Brenda Carter, presented on this 11th day of November, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Roy Gilbert. Next, we have a man who's been doing some amazing things on our very close and dear to my heart CNS board. We're talking about a man who gave a multitude of years to the armed forces in a multitude of battles, is none other than First Sergeant, First Class, Dave Patterson. Please put your hands together for Mr. Patterson. First Class Patterson was an acting detachment first sergeant of several medical units in their height of 2 wars of Fort McCoy, which was assigned to oversee the mobilization and demobilization of 1/10 of the tens of thousands of soldiers that was mobilized in Iraq and Afghanistan. Dave Patterson career spans over 37 years with many assignments ranging from combat medic to non-commissioned officer in charge of medical hospital and combat support hospital, troop medical centers, and medic for many engineering and infantry soldiers in his earlier career. He has been decorated for his achievement throughout his career. His awards range from the Bronze Star Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal with Campaign Star, Meritorious Service Medal, an Army Accommodation Medal, and an Army Achievement Medal, just to name a few of a multitude of awards this man received. Also during Mr. Patterson's military career, his post-career, he went on to go ahead and hold a master's in psychology and presently completing his second master's and also finishing his dissertation for his PhD in organizational leadership. When I talk about a man putting in work out here in the community, this is what it's all about. He has an amazing military career, which allowed him to serve his country with honors. But even more so, he's taken that career and pushing on further as he brought that work out to a multitude of community between Wayne County and Oakland County. It is with the greatest of pleasure. And without further ado, I present to you Mr. Dave Patterson.
All right. I appreciate that beautiful presentation about myself. I think so I won't hold up a lot of time I'm going to say this song that I always used to present to my soldiers, of what the American soldier is all about. I'll be real brief, be brilliant, and be gone, and I can get 2 out of 3. That'll work, right? All right. This goes like this. I'm trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to my mother, everything to everyone. Up and at 'em bright and early, all business in my suit. Yeah, I'm dressed for success, from my head down to my boot. I don't do it for the money. There's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory. I just do it anyway. Providing for our future, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Monday when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, sometime all night long. You can bet I stand ready when the wolf prowl at the door. I'm solid, I'm steady, I'm true down to the core. And I always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost. See, I know the sacrifice. Oh, I don't want to die for you, but if dying to ask of me, I'll bear that cross with honor, cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American beside my brothers and my sisters. I will proudly stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines so you can sleep with peace at night. I'm the American soldier. I'm the American soldier. That's what it's about. It's about serving your country. And we have what we talk about in the Army values, selfless service. That's what we do. We provide selfless service so that our future can be bright. Our children's and children, the generations to come can benefit for being an American and reap the benefits that America gives. Everyone comes from all over the world to reap these benefits of the freedom that we provide. It's an honor to have been able to serve all those years. Now I'm out here now serving under God's army and trying to spread the good news and let people know what God's all about, because it is God and country. Thank you, and I appreciate this honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are sitting or standing, I need you to put your hands together for the man himself, my brother, Dave Patterson. Next, we have a man who served in the Korean War and a member of the United States Army. You know, this is a man who gave his heart, body, and soul, to that war, to go ahead and make sure he wanted to not only go ahead and bring himself back and fight for the liberty that we have on our current soil, but he wanted to go ahead and make sure he fought to make sure his brothers and sisters to the left and right of him were going to go ahead and make it back with him. He prided himself greatly on that achievement. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and extend this honor out to the man himself, Mr. Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson, unfortunately, cannot be here with us today. So we humbly accept this award on his behalf, and we want you to go ahead and say a prayer and a thank you to the Anderson family for his service. Next, we have a man who's been has done it for a multitude of years, and now he's even doing it on the county level. So it was with the greatest honor and privilege that I am able to go ahead and present to you our Oakland County Deputy Executive, Mr. Sean Carlson. Put your hands together for Sean Carlson. Sean Carlson, he oversees the Offices of Management and Budget Information Technology and Economic Development and Community Affairs for the county. Prior to his appointment, Carlson served as the Executive Director of the Michigan Defense Center. In this position, he was a key architect of Michigan's Protect and Grow strategy to attract Department of Defense missions to improve the aerospace and defense industry, and to also assist small businesses in diversifying into the defense industry. He enlisted in the U.S. Army at the age of 17. He was commissioned an officer in the U.S. Air Force in 1992. After 20 years in the Air Force, both on active duty and in the Air Force National Guard, he retired as a lieutenant colonel. It brings me with the greatest of honor, and I graciously and gratefully appreciate you. And I want to go ahead and I want everybody out there to put their hands together for the man himself and our honoree, Sean Carlson, our Oakland County Deputy Executive.
Thank you, Kano. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I hear you great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So humbled to receive this honor and to be invited here today. You know, I raised my hand when I was 17 years old to take the oath to defend this country. But in my 28 years in the service, you know, there's a quote that stands out to me the most from Jesse Jackson. Our flag is red, white, and blue, but our nation is a rainbow, red, yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. And that's what the service has taught me. And I am so proud to receive this award today, and just really appreciative of it. You know, one of my special jobs that I get to do as the Deputy County Executive in Oakland County is oversee veteran services. And boy, you cannot get more fired up than H. Bill Maxey. I am just so inspired by him, but I need his help, and I need each and every one of you. I've got $1 million that I'm trying to give to our veterans, $2,500. If they are in need, they need to get their applications in by December 4th. We will write them a check for $2,500. Our veteran services organizations, we got 40 of them in Oakland County. I've only received 13 applications. I'm giving $20,000 to our American Legion, Veteran Foreign of Wars, and AMVETS. Come and get it. We're here. We're ready to help and serve for those men and women who have so proudly stood in peacetime and wartime and defended our nation. And they deserve this. And I'm so proud to be leading that organization, so proud to be here today. Thank you so much. And thank you, Commissioner Powell, to bring to light some of the great things that we're doing at Oakland County. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about. You heard him out there, Facebook. You heard him out there, YouTube, and everyone who's watching this. There is money out there waiting to be picked up on behalf of our individual veterans, on behalf of our American Legions, on behalf of our VFW organizations. Listen, take this man up on it. If you want it, look, I pride myself on having the connections. I just connected you right here, live on Zoom via Facebook. So you want to go ahead and take advantage of this money, make it a point to go ahead and take this man up on it. This is money that's earmarked specifically to go ahead and help and support our veterans and our veteran organizations. Mr. Carlson, I appreciate you to no end, not only for coming on and receiving this honor, but also giving us that great wealth of information so that we can make sure our veterans know that they're going to be taken care of. Thank you so much for that, sir. That being said, our next award recipient is a man who is a true proud Marine. And I'm talking about a proud Marine. We're talking about none other than the man himself, Mr. Jerry Williams. Put your hands together for Jerry Williams. Jerry Williams served in U.S. Marines from 1967 to 1971. He was assigned to Marine Medical Evacuation Unit as a crew chief in the Marine Medical Unit. He received medals for valor, heroism, and also for his bravery, a multitude of other awards. He survived 2 attacks on his helicopter and received fire being shot down not once, but twice in major combat. And we will present this award to his daughter, his lovely daughter, Monica Williams, who is proud like no other daughter on behalf of her father, to go ahead and receive this award on his behalf, but also to go ahead and let you know how important it is for her to go ahead and be here so we can celebrate our father appropriately on this beautiful Veterans Day. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to the lady herself, Miss Monica Williams.
Thank you so much. I'm getting a little choked up here, sorry.
You all right? You're okay. You're all right, Monica. Take your time.
Being a daughter of a Vietnam vet, I grew up very, very curious about Vietnam, and my dad never wanted to really talk about it. What a mess. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. Take your time.
I just really appreciate this award, and he never really wanted anything to do with the VA. He was always really comfortable just with other vets, and being at the VFW. I grew up a VFW kid playing pool at the bars with my dad. But he, in his later years, he's been talking about it a lot more, and we're working on trying to figure out like his history and what his awards are and all of that. I'm such a mess. But anyways, he was the medevac helicopter crew chief, and he's like you said, Kano, so nicely, he's a very proud vet, proud of his service, proud to serve, very happy that the man who called people he would save suckers is no longer our president. I just talked to him today, and he's processing a lot of those emotions, and anyways, thank you for this, and my dad thanks you, and I'll be sure to share this video even though I'm a total mess.
Monica, that's what this is all about. And, and I appreciate you being really transparent with your emotions and, and what this award means to you and your family. And please, when you talk to your father on behalf of everybody on this call and beyond, please thank him from the bottom of our heart for his service, his years of service for our betterment. So thank you so much for that, Monica. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Jerry Williams on behalf of his daughter, Monica Williams. That being said, our next award recipient is somebody who I've had the honor of growing up with for, since we were snot-nosed kids. And so when I found out that he was selected to go ahead and be one of the honorees, at that point, I'm like, I'm going to love this day. I'm going to love this moment. And I'm going to love my life on this particular November 11th. That being said, it is an honor for us to go ahead and present this award to our next recipient, Mr. Herman Bishop.
Well, thank you guys for no.
Oh, I was done bragging on you. I wasn't done bragging on you, Mr. Bishop, but that's okay. Please, I'll pick it up after you're done.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you guys for nominating me for this award. It's definitely a pleasure. When I entered the Marine Corps back in 1990, that was during the time of Desert Storm. And at the time, it was a very scary time for a young man to enter the military during a wartime, almost unheard of. But, at that time in my life, I felt compelled, to put my life on the line for my country. So with that being said, looking back at everything that I've been through, in the Marine Corps, from that time and serving my country, this is something that I wouldn't change. And the fact that I now have a brotherhood of Marines, which, by the way, all my Marines out there, happy belated birthday, November 10th. And also to Veterans Day today, it's only selected few of us that, can say that we know what that brotherhood is like to be a Marine and to be a Marine veteran or a veteran in general, serving the military in our country. After my years of service in the military, I made a smooth transition to going to enlist and join the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, which I've been serving that capacity for 26 years. And these are certain things in my life that I would never change. And I look back on and say, I would definitely do it all over again.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all to go, he's being extremely humble, but I do want you to put your hands together one more time for Mr. Herman Bishop. Herman Bishop, his efforts and passion for community and for people is extended far beyond even the walls of the Oakland County Sheriff's Division. I mean, he's constantly looking to go ahead and give back, even from a philanthropic standpoint, but also too from a service standpoint. He's worked on countless different events and programs with me to go ahead and make sure that the children of this community is going to be taken care of. Our seniors are going to be taken care of in this community. And to me, that is what it's supposed to all be about. You got to always continue to pay it forward. Don't pay it forward for a day. Don't pay it forward for a week. It's got to be ongoing and everlasting to the day you take your last breath. And Herman is the embodiment of that, walking, living, breathing embodiment of that. So on behalf of all of us with this organization and this program we have today, we'd like to go ahead and thank you one more time to the man himself, Mr. Herman Bishop. I ain't saying that because you family neither. That being said, it brings us to our next recipient. This is a man another person who, when I found out he was going to be honored, I mean, you know, my jaw dropped, because these are people that I grew up with, walked the same streets of Pontiac with, got in trouble with. And to go ahead, yeah, because he used to always get everybody in trouble, it's true. But to watch him turn around and do the things that he's done with his life has been absolutely amazing. I mean, and not only, and we'll talk about what he did as far as overseas is concerned, as far as his service to the country is concerned, but we'll even talk about what even extended after that. And we're talking about none other than, I need you to put your hands together for the man himself, Mr. George Hathaway.
Well, thank you, Cato.
Man, I wasn't done bragging on you, but I'll brag on you after it's over. Go ahead.
well, let's first of all, let me just say, it's been an honor to serve in the military. Leaving Pontiac in 1989, man, I left a lot of friends behind. I didn't know what I was going to get myself into, but you know, during the 26 years, I met so many outstanding people. I mean, these people, you know, I talk to them to this day. They're my Facebook friends. It's just amazing how spending time in the military can introduce you to so much in life. You know, growing up in Pontiac, I really didn't do too much. You know, I hung out with the fellas and everything, and you know, I didn't see how big this world could be until I started traveling and going overseas and meet new people. And I mean, just get that brotherhood, like the brother said before. There's nothing like being part of the military and you get that brotherhood. It carries on with you for the rest of your life. And like I said, I'm just proud to be part of such a beautiful organization of men and women who come together and just, you know, you can call them for comfort and they can call me. And now that I'm out, you know, I did my 26 years. I retired in 2015. It just seemed to me that there's something missing. And what I thought was missing, what I found out to be missing, is that a lot of us are not giving back to the community as much as we should. So, you know, while you commending us, and we're grateful that you're awarding us with these awards, but to be honest with you, Cato, you and people like Brenda Carter and Bill Maxey, you guys are the real MVP. So with that, you know, I'm honored on receiving this award, but still I want to be able to honor you all for all the things that you do in the community. So I thank you for this award from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to put your hands together one more time for Mr. George Hathaway. That's 26 years of service that this man gave you. Fought in a multitude of wars. Iran, Iraq, you know, Kuwait, Afghanistan. We're talking about Desert Storm, Desert Shield. That's what this man gave for you. This is a sacrifice that this man, he put himself on the line, his well-being, for the betterment of all those people you talk about in Pontiac. We're all walking around here better and in a better place because of your sacrifice, George. And then it's talking about service. This man is constantly giving back. I mean, constantly. Whether it be feeding the homeless. We just sat up and did a project just last December, feeding the homeless. He's sitting over here making sure his veterans are taken care of, his senior citizens are taken care of. That's what this is about. So when I'm talking about being a true servant to the world and to the community, you got to go ahead and make sure this is an ongoing process. And for that, once again, you are the embodiment of that. So George Hathaway, I appreciate you to no end, and thank you. Put your hands together. For our next presentation, I would like to go ahead and call up our Honorable State Representative, Brenda Carter.
Again, thank you, Kano. And it's with great pleasure that I'm introducing the next awardee. I've known this man for over 20 years. When I first came to Pontiac almost 25 years ago, this man was on the ground. I mean, it was not about lip service with him. He was out there. He was on a mission And he was going to do every single thing he could to make Pontiac the best community that it could be. He served in the military. He served in both the Air Force and the Army. Very few people know this about the commander, but he served in the Air Force and the Army. And then when he got out, he hit the ground running. The Urban Institute. He got on the board of directors of OSHA. He ran for the library board, and he's now the treasurer. That didn't stop this man because he was on a mission. He wanted to make sure that no veteran suffered. None. So he was going to do everything he could. So when I was elected for my first term, I couldn't think of anybody better to be the director of Veterans Affairs for the entire 29th district. That is 5 communities that he's representing. Not only the Army and Air Force, he's representing the VFW, he's representing Cook Nelson Post 20. He is out there. He created a military fan out, which is involving doctors that are in Philadelphia to make sure that our health, the health of our veterans is taken care of. So it's with extreme pleasure and honor that I present the next award to none other than H. Bill Maxey.
Mr. Maxey, you have a few words for us, sir? You know you got to say a few words. Come on, we know you can't hold off on that.
Definitely speechless, a surprise. Thank you so much. But I accept this in the honor of Mr. and Mrs. Military, the United States of America, and specifically here in Oakland County in Pontiac. Thank you, because you know, Kano, I get to talking about the goodness and sometimes the sadness. So I guess I'll just go out and be cool. Dave gave me thumbs up, which means be quiet. Thanks again for this award in the honor of Mr. and Mrs. Military, United States of America, and Oakland County, Michigan, and the county seat. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to put it together for one more time.
I love you.
Bill Maxey.
All right, Bill.
Everybody, that brings the conclusion of our living heroes. We have a second portion where we're going to go ahead and acknowledge our posthumous heroes, but there is a second part to this program that we wanted to go ahead and make sure we made you aware of. The thing about this, when Mr. Maxey, he always made a point where he wanted to make sure he was consistent with taking care of our veterans. And so he saw something that was taking place within the walls of the community of Pontiac, where there were so many veterans out there that was walking around that were homeless, had nowhere to go ahead and go, not proper medical resources, not appropriate shelter, clothing, the whole 9 yards. And so he wanted to put something together that was going to be so impactful, just to go ahead and make sure that we try to take care of them. If it's just for a day or 2 or 5 or a week, we wanted to go ahead and make sure that we were able to go ahead and bless them. So what we did was we all got together, and there's a multitude of people, which I'm about to go ahead and acknowledge, because it could not have happened without these organizations and individuals. We were able to go ahead and put together survival packets, backpacks. Every last one of these veterans are going to get a packet that's going to be worth pretty close to $300 each. They're going to have a brand new pair of shoes in the packet. It's a backpack, and I'm talking about a nice backpack. I'm jealous because I wish I had one, but that's all right. Our veterans need to go ahead and be taken care of. And a multitude of food. And matter of fact, let me just go ahead. As far as the shoes are concerned, it would not have happened without CNS Healthcare. When it comes to our backpacks, it would not have happened without our state representative, Brendan Carter. When it comes to some of the survival supplies, it would not have happened without Great Expressions Dental Center headquarters located out in Southfield, who heard about it and they jumped to it. And as far as the food side is concerned, it would not have happened without Havenwick Hospital. Shout out to you, Michelle. You jumped all on top of that. And then also too, as far as the multitude of individuals that came together to put together some of those survival supplies, which is socks, some of the essentials that they're going to go ahead and need to be able to stay warm and stay comfort through this upcoming winter season. I got to give a shout out to the lady herself, Miss Leona Patterson, and also Miss Jacqueline Kills. So wherever you are, I need you to please put your hands together, because it's all about not lip service. This is all about people not talking about it, but being about it. And without you, this blessing would not happen. And because of you, after this program, program, we will be delivering 50 backpacks full of all these different supplies and blessings to these homeless individuals in their different particular spots where they're located at. So please put your hands together for that and those organizations. Thank you, and thank you. And we got our CEO. The next person we got is going to go ahead and speak to that. And when I say every time we go ahead and reach out to him, and there's a need for us to go ahead and come together to look out for some type of hole that we have in this community, without further ado, this man actually steps out with no hesitation or reservation. So without any further words, I'd like to go ahead and bring to the actual, I would like to share the screen, I should say, with the man himself. Our president and CEO of CNS Healthcare is none other than Mr. Michael Garrett. Please put your hands together for Michael Garrett.
Thank you, Kano, and hello all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. As Mr. Phillips said, I'm Michael Garrett, President and CEO of CNS Healthcare. We're one of the largest providers of mental health care services in Southeastern Michigan. But today, I want to speak to you simply as a civilian who's grateful from the bottom of my heart and appreciative for the sacrifices that you and your family have made in making this world a better and safer place. Often we simply thank veterans for their service, but I want to go a step further and personally thank you for the freedoms that myself and my family enjoy each and every day. And that would not have been possible without your sacrifice and your dedication to duty. Freedom isn't always free. It takes committed men and women who are ready at a moment's notice to actively defend our way of life. And for that, I can't thank you enough. You've shown through your actions the willingness to stand for something greater than the individual. The least that the rest of us can do is show gratitude through our actions as well. As such, CNS Healthcare will continue to support this organization and organizations like it to raise awareness to issues that matter to veterans and their families. Additionally, as a viable business in this community, if you know of any veterans or their family members that would like to explore a career in healthcare, CNS would love to have you as part of our work family. I want to thank you again for the opportunity to address you today, and I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you in person in the future. Take care, stay safe, and thank you again. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Michael Garrett. And Michael, and thank you for your consistency. Thank you for always looking to go ahead and reach out and extend your hand to make sure that someone's going to have a better outcome. So thank you for that from the bottom of my heart, sir.
Thank you,
so,
sir.
With that being said, it comes to a part of the program, you know, it really cuts close and dear to my heart because my father will be considered one of the people that's in these ranks. You know, we want to honor the people that are still here because I'm a strong believer you give people their roses while they can still smell them. And that's why this day means so much. But also, too, we still have to pay homage to the individuals who gave everything of themselves to go ahead and make sure that we were going to be in a real good spot today, who have transitioned on. And so with that being said, we're going to go to the posthumous awards that we want to go and present to some of the families of the people that have done it all, but have transitioned on, but their families are still here, you know, living and breathing and pushing on in their honor. So with that being said, the next award that we're going to go ahead and present is to a man by the name of Mr. Tony Johnson. Tony Johnson, you know, Mr. Johnson, I mean, you know, this man will always greet you with a smile and some great conversation, you know, and so he was like a father. The thing about people know about the barbershops are the staple of the community. And when that man came in there, he held court. And that's what it's all about. And it's like E.F. Hutton, when he talked, everybody shut up and listen. So with all, you know, and so, you know, it's just such an honor because this is also somebody who was a U.S. Army Vietnam War veteran who fought in Vietnam, you know, was born in Mississippi, you know, and stationed in Tacoma, Washington. You know, he was a supply specialist and he retired and he retired with honors, you know, from the Army, you know, and so with the honorable discharge. So, but it's even more of an honor that I get a chance to go ahead and bring somebody, you know, who's family, extended family to me as well. And it's his son who's going to be able to go ahead and accept the award in his honor. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and pass the computer screen over to Mr. Dion Johnson. Please put your hands together.
Thank you, Kano. I appreciate that. It was very kind words. As I sit here at the American Legion in Pontiac, I'm reflecting on all the veterans, and I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all those veterans and families. And if my dad was here, he's now gone, but my dad would definitely be happy to accept this award. So on behalf of the Johnson family, we would like to accept this award from Brother Bill Maxey for his leadership for the veterans, State Representative Carter for her leadership as well, taking care of the veterans, and you, Brother Phillips, for what you're doing with your foundation as well for the veterans. You know, veterans have been getting, like Brother Maxey said earlier, have not been getting the love and care and support that they should from our nation. And so for doing this as a small token of appreciation here in Pontiac, I think that, you know, it's a stepping stone to bigger things for not just for Pontiac, but for Oakland County and for the state of Michigan. So once again, I want to say thank you and Happy Veterans Day to everybody. And I accept this award on behalf of my father, Tony Johnson. Thank you so much, Keno.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to please give it up for Mr. Tony Johnson and also my brother Dion Johnson. Please give it up one more time. Next, we have a man who, you know, hey, we talking about someone who's an absolute war legend, and it will be the man himself, Mr. Edward Rivas. Put your hands together for Edward Rivas. Edward Rivas served in the Korean War, and for his distinguished himself in the United States Army. He served his country with dignity and pride and was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. He was among other distinguished veterans who made sure by serving this country that no war will be fought on American soil. Edward P. Rivas is no longer with us physically, but in spirit. We resolve in our heart and thank him. For we know that veteran Edward Rivas is precious to us all, and his family. I want to go ahead and just stop this and say this. You know, this gentleman passed away no more than 2 weeks ago. And so I'm asking that all of us stop wherever we are and let's please just have a moment of silence for this loss and, you know, and his loved ones. So if you please have a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. And on behalf of the Rivas family, because you know, they're taking care of a few things and they're still grieving, that we humbly accept that honor on behalf of the family. So to the Rivas family, thank you. We appreciate you, and you are in all of our prayers. So one more time, give it up, please, for Mr. Ed Rivas. That being said, the next award goes out to the family of a woman that's just given so much of her heart, body, and soul to not only this community, but to this world. You know, let me just go and acknowledge her son first, and then we go ahead and get into some of the ins and outs of what's taking place with this family dynamic. I need you to put your hands together for Mr. Brian Canty. Brian Canty served in special forces for the Army in the Iraq War. This man, when you're talking about was dedicated to the armed forces and dedicated to this country, you will be hard pressed to find anyone that was going to go and put it on the line like this man. And it's because of this is why this woman who is sitting on this call with us is so proud for her to go ahead and be able to say that this is a product of her, a byproduct of her love and passion and dedication. And for him to go ahead and extend that out through the armed forces for this country and into this world before he was taken out here for his untimely demise. You know, this is what it's all about. And it's such an honor and privilege for me to go ahead and be able to say that I was a part of the event, you know, with everybody else on this call, to be able to say, we're going to go ahead and pass this award over to this family. And this award goes to none other than State Representative Brenda Carter on behalf of your son. Please put your hands together for State Representative Carter.
Again, Kano, thank you. This is very difficult. When Brian was little, I never thought that he would grow up to be in special services, but I read a letter that he wrote when he was 9 years old that said he wanted to be a police officer. And I actually read that letter to the education committee up in Lansing. Brian was a very unique young man, you know, and when he came out of that tank in Fort Benning, Georgia, I was like, really? not this spoiled little kid, but we were so proud of him because he was on a mission. He wanted to be the best that he could be. No mother ever wants to get the call. And I was very blessed the whole entire time he was over there fighting in Iraq at a time where our brave service people were in harm's way of being amputated or decapitated, that Brian would come home. And one day he came home. But a lot of people don't understand what our veterans go through with post-traumatic stress disorder. Our son sat back and said he couldn't even take a flash from a camera because it reminded him of all the artillery going around in Iraq. Well, last year we got the call. Pontiac City Councilman Randy Carter and I, we were in DC serving our community at 4 a.m. in the morning when his fiance called and said he's gone. Now, you know, your mind just don't catch that. You know, he's gone. He's gone where? And she said, no, he's gone. No mother ever want to get that call. We got it. We got it. And I'd like to thank our community leaders, Kenny Anderson, Bill Maxey, once again, who stood with Randy and I at the cemetery, Great Lake Cemetery, where all the veterans go when they get the 21 gun salutes and they get the burial with honors. And it was a proud moment for us, but it was a painful moment for us. So to hear that we were going to get this award for Brian, really, right now I am crying. You can't see it, okay? But I am going to pass that award on to his 9-year-old daughter, Jazara, so she will know what a brave and wonderful man Brian really was. I'd like to thank the Ascend Foundation. I'd like to thank Bill Maxey and Kenny Anderson. I'd like to thank our entire community, but most importantly, I'd like to thank my husband, Randy Carter, who had just lost a son as well. So he understood the deep pain I feel every single day. So thank you for everything. Thank you for Brian, and thanks to all the military people out there and the families, most importantly, the families who have suffered this blow of losing a loved one while they were serving. But know that they chose the path that they're on, and we should be very, very proud of our military service people, living or deceased. Thank you again.
Representative Brenda Carter, can y'all please put your hands together for Representative Carter? I'm just going to let you know this, you know, you and Randy, our prayers will continuously go out to the Carter family. You being in the House of Representatives and Randy Carter being a pro tem of our city council, you know, for your countless moments of service where you never even let up. It was like you got lost in your work because you wanted to go and make sure that your son was looking down and smiling on you, knowing that that's my mama and that's my daddy. And for the record, y'all, for anybody out there listening, no parent want to go and bury their child. It's always supposed to be the other way around. So for you to have to endure that, just understand that you are in our prayers, and and we always are here for you, and we got you, and I have nothing but the highest degree of love for you, and thank you for everything too. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the memory and the sacrifice of Mr. Brian Canty. For our next presentation, I'm going to pass this over to the man himself, Mr. Bill Maxey.
I'm glad to speak. Very proud of the next recipient, a personal friend of mine. At the same time, we're in the military, security and intelligence. One of the most, what one might say, committed and disciplined organizations in the world under the command of SAC, Strategic Air Command. This man was a tremendous individual. He left his legacy not only in the city of Pontiac, but in the United States Air Force. Exceptionally, he excelled. There are 370,000 words in Webster Dictionary. Positively, I would have to go on for years to speak in behalf of this gallant, courageous, outstanding, committed, selfless veteran of the United States Air Force. My friend, not only in the military, but in civilian life. Evidently, he was taught by the military, or he accepted leadership. I came into the city, and everybody in the city said, "Who are you? What you doing here? Got no business here." But this one man stepped forward and said, "Hey, wait a minute. This is an individual. This is a soldier. I welcome you to the city of Pontiac." From that point forward, with all the love, all of the love, all of the positive things that we did together, one day, our Heavenly Father asked and said, "Come with me, my dear one, and rest in peace." The military and civilian life, learning from the God Almighty, there is nothing that was not successful that this individual had done. Commitment, courageous, unselfish, give his last. I would be very remiss if I did not give honors to one of America's greatest military leaders first, then slash civilian, who served in the state, who served in the county, and who through educational process helped graduate hundreds and hundreds of our youth in Oak Park. You know, I get carried away and I start speaking rather, but everything, I get emotional because I know what holiness and righteousness is. I know where it belongs. And because of this occasion, and because of the military, we have an award for my friend, my brother, of whom I love very much, and who belong in the archives of our heart and in the Hall of Fame archives for his militarism. I speak of the one individual who we all would close around and say, "Thank you for your service." None other than Clarence Phillip, a mighty warrior, a mighty service person. And because of all these things, which it would take me months, perhaps years to say about you, I am going to present, and I will ask, let me say this first, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You're looking at the apple, Kano Phillips. You're looking at the apple, and you can imagine, for those of you that did know Clarence, you understand what this man is, such an elegant leader, such an elegant, courageous person of integrity, ambition, motivation for his people. He also wake up to serve. Don't get carried away, Max, with all the adjectives. But however, I present without hesitation the God Almighty and I to an individual so deserving, and within that family, to Kano Phillips in behalf of a great father, great individual, the one and only be one under that name, and sitting on the right-hand side of the father. Kano, will you please accept the award for Clarence Phillips, your honorable father?
Yes, sir. Graciously will. Thank you, Mr. Maxey. I truly. I'm gonna tell you. Originally, my mother was supposed to go ahead and come on this call because when Mr. Maxey got in contact with me and said he wanted to honor my father, I actually tried to push back against it because I just thought it was kind of a conflict of interest, given the fact that, we are part of the organization putting on the actual event, and also knowing the fact that we were going to surprise Mr. Maxey too and give him an award, and he didn't even know. But as I tried to get my mother to come on, I thought I almost had her, but this is really hard for her. We're talking about that unconditional love thing. I mean, the love that they have for 43 years, and the only thing that broke them up was when God called them home. It's just difficult. So it is, with the honor that I will go ahead and accept this award, and I'm gonna most definitely take it over to her so she can go ahead and hang it up on her wall somewhere. But I just want to go ahead and say, Veteran Affairs meant everything to my father. That was the reason why he got into politics. That's the reason why he ended up going to city council, ended up going into the House of Representatives prior to Brenda Carter, getting the post. That's why he came back and brought it back to, to the city of Pontiac to become mayor. But it was always about trying. But even before that, forget the titles. Let's just talk about the work this man looked to go ahead and do amongst kids in the community. Herman Bishop is one of those products, of my father, not only from an educational side, but from a community side. It's just we have to go in and understand how important it is giving back, and also making sure you look out for something more than just your own self and just your own immediate environment. You got to give out and extend it out. The neighborhood has to go ahead and pick up the whole mantle again about taking care of the neighborhood. And I got that from him. So without any more words on this, because I'm about to sound like a real little punk over here because I'm about to get teary-eyed. I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you very much for the award itself. And I'll graciously take this over to my mother. And thank you for that too, Mr. Maxey. So with that being said, y'all, we tried to go ahead and we stayed true to our promise. We wanted to keep you on for time. Our time schedule, we said 1:30 we were going to be done by. Hey, we're going to get you out of here 1:20, 1:21. But I just want to go once again, thank everybody who actually attended, everybody who came on here to be a part of the program. I want to go ahead and give you a round of applause on behalf of me to you. I want to go ahead and thank all the people. We can unmute everybody now. So
say one last thing for 5 minutes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I say one last thing for 5 minutes? For 2 minutes? 1 minute?
Yeah.
Top secret?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I'm gonna tell you, no. Yes, sir. By all means, the TV. I mean, the community screen.
I demand, and you are
yes, sir.
Obeyed. I want to thank this young man. Today is not the first time. Throughout the traces of history of the city of Pontiac, his role model is leadership, integrity, commitment, honor. Not only here in the city, out at the university, out of the state. He'd be very proud of his HBC connections. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. This commitment that this young man had made to this program, and he pushed me to commander, or he pushed me. He insisted that all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac, make sure your young people see this video, because this is a perfect example of your youngster to follow. They'll begin to have perhaps more self-respect, more admiration for others than themselves. But this young man is personified role model. And I was speaking to the highest heavens, longitude, latitude, north, south, east, and west. Thank you, General Phillips. It's just this beginning of your 150 years to live that you will be having this type of leadership not only expressions, but execution of excellence. With that, I say again, Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac, Mr. and Mrs. Military, across Oakland County, across the state, wherever you are, if you're listening, put your hands together for a young man who's done everything in his life the right way, and that is to reach out and help others, none other than my son, Kano Phillips. Put your hands together.
Thank you, Pop. You know what? Listen, I was already trying to go ahead and hold back these tears from my father. And you want to go ahead and hit me with that? That's not right. You're supposed to let me slide off, so I go ahead and gather my composure. But but I really appreciate your words, Pop. You know, it meant everything for you to allow me to go ahead and be a part of this program that I know is so close and dear to your heart. You've been doing this for years, so thank you for allowing me and the Sin Foundation to go ahead and be able to participate, to go and help this day be exactly what it was. And I hope it was epic for everybody, because it darn sure was epic for me just to go ahead and be a part of it. So, and with that being the case, y'all, I just want to go ahead once again say thank you to everybody. I want to also say thank you to the man himself who helped engineer this whole thing. His name is Mr. Sante Lucas, F&G Media Arts. The guy is absolutely brilliant at what he does. I want to thank him for this, because if it was left up to me, we all be in trouble. We have Zoom boxes all over the place. So with that being said, I want everybody to please enjoy your Veterans Day. I need you to go and reach out to these men and women that you know that are veterans and let them know how much they appreciate today. Pick up your phone. Stop texting everybody. Just pick up the phone and call someone and let them know how much you appreciate them and how much they mean to you. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get in under 125 mark. By 125, we gone. We out of here. So we got the 130 threshold. So thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing everybody soon. And also, too, let's make sure we celebrate this day and pay honor and homage to all of our greats. Thank you, everyone.